Good afternoon from AlphaCars. My name is Tom, coming to you from our Northampton location, and today I am so excited to share with you this gorgeous 2016 Mercedes-Benz S63 AMG. This S63 is currently showing just over 38,000 original miles, and if you would like to see a high-resolution detailed photo set, please reference the listing at alphacars.com. There, of course, you will also find a free included Carfax report, alongside a long list of technical data related to the vehicle's remaining tire and brake life, as well as individual readings from each panel using our paint depth gauge. But today I'll take you on a quick condition overview around both the interior and the exterior, and then we'll take a look at some of the more notable features, and just about every feature is notable, so this will be a slightly longer one because there is so much to cover. But we'll first start quickly on the outside. Absolutely stunning combination. As you can see, a nice metallic gray gives it really nice definition of those gorgeous body lines, as you can see in this nice flat light we've got right now. Paint is in lovely condition all the way around. As you can see, those wheels are gorgeous as well, but we'll cover that in a moment. So, as always, I like to go really close to the panel, looking for any dings, dents, or irregularities in the way that light reflects off the panel, looking for scratches, anything that's notable. So as we make our way down the car, looking down the side, you see it's absolutely mirror reflective. Perfect reflection, no ripples, absolutely nothing of concern there. Absolutely beautiful here on the driver's side. Now we'll take a look at these absolutely beautiful AMG wheels. They have that lovely cover with the kind of faux center lock that hides your lug nuts. It all looks beautiful with that AMG badging just there on the spoke, and the massive AMG brakes hidden just behind. Tires, as you can see, perfect condition. Not a hint of wear on that wheel. And now we get to the front wheel, where it's a very similar story, except the brakes are much bigger and much scarier to look at. You can see massive AMG calipers just behind there, big floating discs. You really get the sense that this is a serious performer when you look behind those wheels. So now here at the front fascia, of course, as you would expect with an S-Class Mercedes top-tier premium styling, it looks just unbelievable. You can see here the headlights, loads of really cool technology, and those projectors actually look like eyes. You can see they're kind of floating inside of their own housing. It's very, very cool, and we'll see that with the daytime running lights on here in a few moments. But you can see both headlight lenses are crystal clear, not showing any signs of oxidation or discoloration. And they do a great job at accenting the front of the car, giving it a lot of emotion and that really cool Mercedes styling. Looking here at the grille, shining brilliantly in that chrome finish. And of course, the Mercedes star just there on the hood, just above the traditional badge. Looking across the bumper cover, only minor bits of wear, and that actually could just be a little bit of road debris like a bug. But otherwise, excellent condition. And looking across that lower chin there, that's where you'd expect to see any kind of wear or damage. And thanks to the camera system in this car, you can actually see all the way around the vehicle. And this one, clearly the previous owner used it because it looks great. You can see here in that little bit of sunlight we have that really cool shift that the paint does. As you can see in regular lighting, it's just kind of a nice smooth gray with a bit of blue to it. And then you get into the light and you get this lovely bronze touch, a little bit of gold dust in there. Looks absolutely fantastic. So before we make our way down the side of the vehicle over here, take a look at this wheel. Another great condition. Brakes again, drilled and slotted rotors, massive AMG calipers, painted to match the car. Now, making our way down the side, passing that V8 bi-turbo badge. Making our way all the way down the doors. As you can see, the reflections are absolutely gorgeous. I was looking for it. I do see a small ding. Look at that BMW Z3 in the background. You can see a very minor ripple there, but it's so hard to notice. But of course, if you want a car this nice, you do want to know everything about it before you even come to see it. So now, this makes our way to the final wheel, which looks brand new. And again, those tires in absolutely perfect condition. So, finally here at the back, slightly more understated styling here. Gorgeous design on those taillight lenses. Again, crystal clear, no oxidation whatsoever. They look perfect. Gorgeous chrome badging all the way across, S63 AMG. And then here on the lower portion, you have those massive angry quad exhaust tips finished in chrome, flanking that nice silver diffuser. Lastly, here on the outside, of course, a full glass panel roof. But this is where the fun really begins, because as you know, if you buy a Mercedes S-Class, Yeah, they look great. That's not really why we have it, though. You get an S-Class for what happens when you open the door, and it reveals one of the nicest modern-day interiors that I have any experience with. As we make our way inside, passing over those illuminated AMG door sills. Actually, before we do that, let's take a look at the seat condition, because it is all good here. You can see those outer bolsters, which is where you'll see wear first, look fantastic. Same goes for the passenger seat, even nicer over there. Now let's make our way inside. Beautiful heavy thud when you close the door. But it's worth noting, if you don't close the door all the way, it is soft close, so it'll do it for you. Now, just to get a sense of how high quality the build is in here, excuse me, when I was just on a phone call, as I took some pictures of this vehicle, I hopped in the car, closed the door, and the call dropped. I went, well, that's interesting. And I tried again, and the same thing happened. I realized this car is built so solid and so dense. You're so sealed off from the world with these dual pane windows and all this that you really are shut out from the world. Now, of course, the car has network connection, and you won't lose your calls while you're driving around connected to the car. But I thought that was a pretty cool way to show, wow, this thing is really its own fortress. So, right there on the dashboard, hit that start-stop button. Engine roars to life. You can see that beautiful digital display for gauge cluster. Looks very high-end. You can see the mileage reported there. But that screen looks great all the way across. Looking at the dashboard, condition is lovely all the way throughout. So a quick tour of our digital gauge cluster. It's not quite as crazy as, say, the 2018 redesigned cars that have all of the crazy menus and different designs. But here, of course, you can navigate all of your different menus. But I'll just jump over all of these because you know what they all do. Down to the AMG one, which shows you some pretty interesting vehicle information. Just there, I like those gauges, gives you some good information. So we'll leave it on there for now. Looking here at the steering wheel ahead of me, really nice design, feels great in the hand, perforated leather on either side, solid leather on the top and the bottom with that nice centering strip just there. Controls, finished in that nice bright silver, look great, and you see the gear selector paddles behind, which change gear with a satisfying, click. And with that flat bottom with the AMG logo just there. It's all beautiful here on the steering wheel, and condition is absolutely perfect. Looking at the door card just here, finished in all sorts of leather and carbon fiber, matched beautifully with that silver trim. And as you can see, I have the ambient lighting set to blue, but you can change it to about, I believe it's 7 or 8 colors that you can customize to your liking. Here on these controls, I have heated and ventilated seats. Of course, you would expect that with an S-Class, but I can also control, using this button, my passenger seat, using the exact same controls that I have for my seat, which is really nice for the convenience of my back seat passenger just there. Or if you just are like me and you want everything to line up exactly right, then that's how you'll do that. Now, looking here at the center display, it's obviously massive, so you can see the actual info doesn't take up a whole lot of real estate, but if I flick it over to the navigation menu, you'll see it blows out to a full screen color navigation map. I also have my reverse and 360 top-down camera, and then if I've been reversing and I want to pull up to something close, flick it to drive, and this is that front camera that I mentioned, so you can watch the front end of your car, make sure you don't bump into anything at all. So that's all really nice, but one quick menu I'd like to show you can be accessed through your controller or through that seat button there. Just like to cycle you through some of these options, right? I have my massage for either front seat, which is lovely. I have my multi-contour dynamics, so let's say you take a really hard right turn, the left side of your seat, as your body weight shifts that way, is going to extend to support you throughout the turn, which is just very cool. I felt that in a handful of cars, and only the most premium get to have that. Seat heating balance, if you like the back or the bottom more heated, that's a nice feature. You can obviously adjust your side bolsters, you can adjust your lumbar, your shoulders to cup your back. It's just the ultimate exercise in comfort and luxury. this is really the top tier. So next up, let's take a look across the center of the dashboard. We have more beautiful carbon fiber, as you'd expect with an AMG. 4 gorgeous vents in the middle, and that lovely timepiece nestled right there in the dash, which matches the design of the car perfectly, and it's just a nice high quality touch and a slightly nicer model than you'd find in, say, an S550, unless you have special options. Looking just below, some subtly included climate controls, which is really nice, all easy to understand and operate, and they all look great. Looking a little bit further down, we do have a somewhat hidden ashtray and power outlet / lighter, but as you can tell, this has not been used. It smells absolutely lovely in here, and that's also thanks to the fragrance canister that is located in the glove box, which distributes a nice fragrance. It atomizes into the airstream of your climate control. It's all very, very nice stuff. Next up, if I move into this compartment, here I do have my disc changer and things, but also underneath this portion, I do have my cup holders, which are also removable. You can remove that whole outer trim and just make it a nice little storage area if you so choose, and then it closes up nicely. Looking here at my center console controls, of course I can access my seat menu, all of my different menus, and then the car screen, which is what you see here. On the left, I have my transmission controller, whether I want sport, comfort, or manual. I have my suspension controls, like your dynamic struts, as well as your vehicle lift to get over a speed bump or a steep driveway. And then over here, some basic controls: power on the system, volume control, and your auto start stop. Just there, of course, is your touchpad and control wheel, which all just feel lovely in the hand and are a very simple thing to operate. Just here, lovely center console armrest with that AMG kind of crest embossed there in the center, which is a nice look. So I'll show you a quick magic trick. Let's say I want something from my center console storage. Push that button and open it up. And as you can see there, so I have a camera lens here. As you can see there, very deep, spacious area with my remote, which we'll cover in just a moment. And now I close that. Now my passenger over here wants to open that. Well, they also have a button on their side, and check this out. It opens up to them just the same as it does for me. I know there's a technical explanation for that, but I'm just going to call it magic for now because that's more fun. So anyway, quick, tour around the front of the vehicle. Of course, I also have my sun shade that can deploy over that panoramic roof. Works quickly, quietly. The fabric's all in great shape. That's what you'd expect. But very quickly, let's take a quick look under the hood and see what really puts the AMG in the S63. I'll meet you there. All right, so now we're under the hood taking a look at the heart of this absolute beast of an S63 AMG. So, obviously condition looking around, it's a lot of plastic, so it's hard to tell, but everything is in phenomenal shape. Look at those painted strut towers there. The paint looks absolutely perfect. You can see the engine cover is incredibly clean and well cared for all the way around. Looking down at the pulleys, all are spinning true, nice and quietly. And of course you have your beautiful iconic AMG look here. You have your badging on either side. You do have your handcrafted signed plaque, which shows exactly who put this engine together on a workbench all by themselves. It's really a pretty special thing. And of course, that Mercedes star at the front. Now this engine, even though the S63, C63, all those models have had different varieties of engine over the years, this particular variant is a 5.5 liter bi-turbo V8, which produces 577 horsepower, and that's a whole lot. However, what's really wild is when you hear the torque figure, which is 664 pound-feet of torque, absolutely monstrous, paired with a very quick transmission, delivers power in such a way that this vehicle, some may call it a barge, I just call it a large luxury vehicle. This vehicle accelerates from 0 miles an hour to 60 in 3.9 seconds, which that's about all there is to say. It's absolutely terrifying, I would imagine. I have not had the pleasure of driving this one yet. So the next thing we'll take a look at very quickly is that massive rear door. So as you could expect, I'm about 6'4", sitting behind where I would very comfortably drive the vehicle, exactly where I was sat before. You see you pass by that equally well-appointed door card to the front. You pass into these absolutely stunning seats in perfect condition. And I have, frankly, it's a silly amount of legroom I'm rather far from the driver's seat, I will say. Now, let's imagine I'm the passenger, and I ask my driver, "Excuse me, sir, please," and this may be, your dad in this case, if you're a kid sitting in the back, whatever it may be. I'm a little uncomfortable. I need some more room, even though of course you don't. The driver can adjust that passenger seat all the way forward, and you could just lay down here in the back of the S-Class. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's take a quick tour. Here just ahead of me, you have some climate control vents. You can insert a disc. You have a power outlet just under here, which is great. A bit of storage as well. Just ahead of me, I have this screen, which when powered on displays that AMG logo. And this one is currently set to the media, so you can see the current radio station. And then over here, this one is currently set to whatever disc would be fitted there, so you'll see that reflected there, and it's all very nice. Now, you saw in that center console area that I had a TV remote, so that remote can control the center display up front, it can control my display here in the back, or it can control this screen, or all of them at the same time. And I would grab that one, but you'll see when I open this center console armrest, I actually have two more and two sets of headphones, which will work with these screens here in the back, so I can enjoy my movie, my Xbox if I so choose, because you can see here you do have AV inputs there. So I could enjoy my video game console, my movie, my music, whatever it may be, and that's all enjoyed privately thanks to these headphones. Now, just ahead here, I also have my cup holders for either occupant here in the back. Very nice to have that. And the second to last thing I'll show you. Take a look here at this somewhat, nondescript door. If you reach up here, pop that open, what is this? This is a fridge, because of course it's a fridge. So you see you have dual settings there for your fridge temperature. You access that latch, and as you can see there, a nice holder for your champagne bottles or your wine or your Sprite, whatever it may be, all available here in the back of the S-Class. Then it can easily be closed up. You can adjust the temperature. I'll turn it off for now, and then close that away, and you'd never even know it. The very last thing I'll show you here before we move to the trunk is it's a little bright in here for my liking, I'd say. I was trying to check out myself in the mirror here, enjoy my success, when I thought it was a bit bright. So for either rear occupant, I have this panel, which I can deploy these shades, nice and smooth. I can deploy their shade as well. Still feeling a little bit bright back here to me, so I'll look behind me and deploy my sunshade in the back. And then if that wasn't quite enough, I'll just close that one for good measure. And all of these controls can be utilized off of that small cluster of switches, and they all work to raise and lower everything. I'll leave the side shades up, but just to show you they do work here. I'm just putting them down a little bit and back up, because I think the next person who gets in this car should have it totally immersed in luxury. And the very last thing, because I know this is a very long video, let's just take a quick look here at the trunk. Of course, you've lost a small amount of space to your refrigerator. I'd call that a worthwhile trade. And you have a very spacious trunk. You have your floor mats for the front. The rear ones are currently fitted. It's all very simple here in the back. Nice big trunk, big enough for golf bags. And then one-touch operation drops it down. So I could go on for hours about this car because it's fantastic, but you should check it out for yourself. If you'd like to do so, check out the listing at alphacars.com. There you'll find all the relevant contact information and some more beautiful pictures. Thank you so much for your time. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you from AlphaCars.